All right, y'all, what's going on? Antasia Shabria Armour here. As you can see, we have just gotten up, so y'all gonna have to bear with me, please and thank you. But I want to get into this floor um to flourishing type of idea here. Um, and I want to start with episode 1. And this is from floor to flourish your blueprint for mindset and style confidence. So each episode, I want to focus on one past job experience, which highlights the key skills that I've learned and how these particular entities have impacted what mindset and style means, especially today. And we're going to start with episode 1, which is the Sears School of Adaptability. So when I first got into Sears, I was figuring out what I wanted to do while I was down in Cleveland State attending some classes there to help with our degree for our bachelor's. I had already attained our associate's degree from community college, and I actually ended up hearing a lady that I really looked up to at that point in time, Emery Grass, and she was like, and usually, it's only just community college. And I was like, oh, but wait, I worked so hard. But okay, and some people ask, I didn't work hard enough. All right, so let's go further. Let's go and pursue the BA degree now. And so when I got the BA degree and I was at Cleveland State, it wasn't working out. And so that's how I came across actually going to Sears. I leave my class a little early. Oh, God forbid. But I did every once in a while when I had to be there at a certain time so I can make the buses and the trips and things like that. And it actually at times cut into that particular class and course. And so, I probably failed that course. But what was weird is that I didn't even really like that course anyway. So sad to say it was easier to do than I may have thought that it would have been. So that part I actually liked about being out to Sears. So that's again about that adaptability of solving a problem. And that's sad because some of the kids, they will prefer extracurriculars and just going to school longer instead of actually having jobs that they have to go to after school. I've never been that type of young lady. I've always preferred working, having some monetary resources of that nature. And so when I had to learn how to do that particular type of pivoting of motion, I had to pivot, go out, and then go head on and figure out what the rest of my day was. And that was difficult to do. And at this point in time, I want to say that class I failed, and I probably had like 6 classes or something like that. I only passed one class that semester total, and that was in a law building. Um, and we were focusing on race and like Richard Pryor and Rick James. If y'all ever hear me talk about, something like that, you will see that came from that particular course. We were watching to aid with our lecture a particular episode, and it just stood out so much that I always picked that up in the period with me. And so that's where you kind of sort of learn to think on your feet. You can see some things and they'll actually resonate with in yourself even a few years down the line. And that's only if you know how to think on your feet. If you don't even realize that that's something that even resonates with you, you ain't thinking on your feet. And that's a issue that you have to learn how to correct within your mindset and adjust your style with confidence for any situation, for sure, because you never can tell what's going to go in. I mean, you just sign up thinking everything's cool, and then they hit you with all of these things like, oh, you in this class, but you were considered a little beneath this course though. No, well, y'all ain't say that at registration. Because you want my ends, and now I'm in horrified debt, mind you, trying to pay off all the dang on student loans. And then so of course, you get the chance to survey the course of the classes, and sometimes I don't always let the survey talk for me. What I'll do is just let the silence talk for me instead. So by you not getting anything, that tells you with the survey convey, even without you actually having a physical survey in your hand. And that's how I looked at it. Now, is that something that I encourage you all to do? It's not for everybody. If it's something that you admire and you want to try to do those things, then by all means, go for it. But again, only take what really resonates. Only take what helps you become a better person. And if that's not it, then keep searching, is what I'll say, until you really are adamant that what you want is close and is here and it's really helping you manifest who your ideal woman is or man, because ultimately that's what matters most. When things really count and you becoming a really great person that you always were meant to be, and when you resonate with them and you're like meeting an old friend, so to speak, you always want to be welcoming and kind. You always want to feel their warmth, their love, their sympathy, their compassion, and their real life, like, camaraderie, like that they're here. They're caring people. They care enough to really make sure that you're having a good day or wish you a good day, or to make sure that you're feeling okay for that particular day. And it's the same thing. Sears has taught me that maybe if the course was a little bit more warm and welcoming, or I did better, or someone did reach out in registration before I chose to take on such a difficult class, maybe there had been no need to continuously try to look for other things to do. And, but I didn't get that. And so Sears took the time out to spend that time and actually pay me for it. So I was very in alignment with that. And then there was a moment, speaking about pay, I'm going to kind of pivot to Alexis a little bit here, because this is something that she'll appreciate. And so I'm like, you know, pay at Sears at a particular time was like $8 or something. It was very small. And I was like, oh wow, okay. Y'all show asking quite a bit for such a little pay. I was like, oh wow. Like, I had gotten to the point then where I was thinking to myself, not necessarily out loud to nobody else, but it manifested in outward behaviors. And with probably out my life, I didn't understand at that point in time, because you have to realize as you grow older, you realize how to utilize your power in your brain to think. And when you do those things, people begin to notice. So after I start to feel that way and start thinking this way similarly, I realized that the guy had pulled me aside. It's like, hey, we were looking for you, and where were you at? We kept calling you and whatnot, and we were unable to actually locate you. And I was like, oh, my bad. I was in the restroom. I had to use the restroom or whatever. I did hear your page, and I was coming. You know what I mean? And that's how I explained it. And eventually, what was said was that, yeah, you got to be on here. You used to run down everything that I was doing wrong, of course. And I was like, you know what? You're not paying me all that much to go through this. If you want to go ahead on and run me a check for about 50 grand, then yeah, you can come at me with all the crap that you got. That's fine. But if you're not doing that, back up. You know what I mean? Like, back your tail up. And I'm not even going to say on up because it's implied. Back, go ahead on about your business. And that's when I start to kind of sort of feel like, Alexis at that point in time where you try to go in and talk to people about giving you some raises or whatever, and they keep shutting you down. You're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not about to be bothered with you too much longer, bro. And you already know that. You know that. So at that point in time, eventually I just walked off. I did, and because I was so sick of being called all of these different names and whatever else, and I'm like, you know what, my confidence has to constantly find ways to adjust, and that's just what it's gonna be. I don't have no issues or problems with that. I'm more than willing and ready, and such a welcoming person that I do not fear having anyone say anything about me, because in all situations, whether I'm just in style confidence for any of these situations that's going on, I know in my heart of hearts that I'm a good person, no matter what nobody says. You can say I'm rude. You can say I'm a B word. You can say I was looking for you, I couldn't find you. Yeah, but you ain't paying me nothing. I'm coming way over here from downtown, so you just got to be mindful. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna go ahead on and end this video here. You get the gist. So thank you for stopping by, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Stay tuned. We'll catch you in episode 2. Bye.